Well, we did it again. Okay, let's talk about what's going on. I'm having huge deja vu, like we've done this before, but I do need you guys' opinion on something. I'm going to post this before I make the final decision. Yes, like the title says, I'm once again considering selling a whole bunch of cars, and that's because every year, this time of year, just gets so crazy expensive for me. And two things happened this last year that I didn't, I guess, plan for is probably the best way to put it. I purchased the GT4 RS and the R8. Now, I've had this for a while. That was planned, the 992 RS. The Vantage was planned for months in advance. I've had this one forever. The M4 was planned for a while, but these two, the GT4 and the R8, were not planned. And of course, I'm not just gonna, big baller, just cash these things out. I finance a lot of my cars, and eventually I pay them off. Like the GT500 is paid off. The great achievement here, but the Renegade is paid off. The C5 is paid off. The Z06 is paid off. The wife's car is paid off. The Hummer I still have a loan out, but every time every year I should say around this time, it just gets godly expensive for me. Those with the mortgage, you guys know this. If you have a mortgage, typically your property tax is escrowed into your mortgage, so it's not just taken out in one or two large chunks. It's taken out throughout the 12-month or annual payment that you have set up with your bank. With me, it always falls. I can pay it either in May in full, or I can pay it in two chunks, one in May, one in around December time frame. That's what I chose to do this year because just funds weren't available. So between that, 4 birthdays, Christmas, all within like 20 days, 25 days of each other. Car insurance is also due at the end of the year. And me being one person, you can only drive one car, right? I mean, I don't know, I'm trying to talk myself out of this, but this is where you guys come in, I need your opinion. Anyway, money becomes pretty tight for me around this time of year. And to alleviate that, in the years past, I traded a 992 Turbo S Camaro ZL1 and a red-eye Hellcat wide-body Challenger for a BMW M8. It wasn't my color choice, but it was one that would work for a while. I immediately regretted the decision. I tried buying half those cars back. The dealership wouldn't sell them back to me because they just brokered them out to another dealership. If you guys watch my channel for a while, you'll know that the search to replace those cars started right away. I guess that's how the GT500 came to be, because I was on the hunt for one of those when I had this Challenger and Camaro and ZL1 before. I just couldn't find one of these from a dealership that was willing to sell at MSRP. Found this guy at MSRP I had to pound on them for a couple months, but they finally caved and I got it. I had this one for, this is coming up 2 years, I want to say. And then I got a dealership, thanks to a viewer's help, finding one that would sell that sticker, because during the whole COVID process or issue, those were going for like 25, 30K over. And I got lucky and found a brand new ZL1 from a local dealership, even though I had one on order. The allocation never materialized. So I got the trifecta back. This is like my dream American muscle cars right here: the GT500, ZL1, and the Hellcat. During all this time, the Dark Horse was announced and released, and I just thought it'd be kind of cool to have, because it's not a terribly expensive car, but it's like a Stingray Corvette. You know, it's cheap. It's a bargain sports car, and it's just a fun car to have. And then also during this time, Pa and I built up the Corvette collection. You may have seen those videos. We have one of each generation. Some of them we have two. The C5 we actually have three. This one's mine. He has two. But it begs the question, do we need 3 C5s in the collection? I think we have 38, 39 cars, and of that, do we really need 3 of those cars to be C5s? Nothing's really special about this one except its condition. Has some paint work done. It's got about 3,300 miles. Just, honestly, just really good condition. Got brand new tires on her. This thing is just nothing really special about it compared to something like this. So, Chris, where am I going at with this? The issue is I have far too many car loans, and the 4RS and the R8 being a non-planned, yeah, it's my decision. I did it. I voluntarily accepted the debt, but those being a non-strategic plan for my finances for the years to come, kind of put a little damper on things. So I'm put in a position where I need to make a decision, and that decision I've made, maybe I'm having seller's remorse. After Pa left and the driver left, I went around and filled up all the tires. I'm just like, man, what the hell am I doing? All this just for some cars, and I'm rambling here, but I do get emotionally attached to some of my cars. They're just cars, right? I mean, I'm not obsessed with them or anything like that, but you know, they're kind of a symbol for me, for all my hard work and dedication to, I guess, just being something in life. And these, I mean, family of course is number one, but these cars are kind of like an internal symbol for that. I don't show my cars off. I rarely go to car shows. I don't get loud, crazy colors. I mean, all my cars are silver, black, and gray. It's not like something I get to show off, but it's just something I have for me as like an achievement. And I just love cars. I love detailing them, driving them, listening to them, you know, feeling them. Things. That was probably a bad gesture. Just all those things that car guys, like you were watching this, are you guys understand? You guys get it, but you got to pay for it too. And I keep going. I keep rambling here, but that's where this video leads us. What do you guys think? Right now, let me tell you what's going on. Once in a while, I bid my cars out to dealerships just to kind of feel the market, see what they're worth. Like if I had one of these cars that I just didn't care about and I could get a pretty good value for it, I would probably sell it, but I haven't been in that situation for a long time. I'm not in that situation now. I like all my cars. Not one of them I would just get rid of because I don't care for it. Even the C5, I was just bashing. You know, I still enjoy that car. But I have a deal in the works right now. It's not done. I haven't signed anything, but I did give them a verbal agreement where I am trading the GT500, the Dark Horse, the ZL1, and the Challenger. Possibly the C5. I thought I would keep that because they're not giving me that much for it. It's like $18,000, and I'd probably rather keep that for $18,000. But at the same time, again, do we need 3 C5s? I don't think so, especially considering 2 of them combined have less than 1,000 miles, less than 800 miles, I think. Think about trading 4, possibly all 5 of these cars for something we kind of already have. Recently picked up this Bentley W12. It's a GT Speed. The same dealership that we got this from has another 2024 Continental GT. It's the Edition 8. So it's about $100,000 less than this. Not that much, just like maybe 50,000 less. Still a lot of money for a damn car. I can buy that Dark Horse for that almost. So what that would do for me is it'll bring me down from, let's see here, Dark Horse, ZL1, Challenger, and that's it. I own the other 2 outright. Bring me down from 3 car payments down to 1. And the positive equity I have in all 4 or 5 of these cars would make that loan very manageable for me. I would have more than half of it, well, probably about half of it paid off. Talking about the Bentley, I mean. And the payments would be less than the 3 over here combined. So it'd be less insurance, less maintenance, less clutter in the toy box, which has some value, I guess. The cost burden per month for 3 payments on 3 of these cars, 1, 2, and 3 back there, would be less than the payments on just that one Bentley. Well, you're thinking, okay, well, where's the problem then? The problem is that I'd be sacrificing all these cars that I've had for, some of them over 2 years. It took a lot of work, and I can't just replace these. That's the biggest thing too. I can't just go out and allocate or build another GT500. I mean, I can find them online, sure, but I mean, some of these things are going for crazy value, crazy amount. And same with the ZL1, same with the Challenger. I mean, they stopped producing all of these cars. I can't just go out and get an allocation and build one and have it in 6 months like I can with some of these. And that's what some of our collection has evolved to, as you see. Last year for the Berlinetta, you can't get the Prowler anymore, can't get the Viper anymore. Those are pretty dang rare. Last year for the R8, that's a classic car, another R8. These are pretty rare. These got to have a crazy allocation. Those are pretty rare. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just you're not going to find these on the lot very often, any of these cars. And that brings up another point too. So the vehicles that I'm considering trading, these are what I would call above average sports cars. Y'all know what a sports car is. It's a car that's only designed to be driven in nice weather, high performance, and just a blast to drive. I think an average sports car would be, I don't know, in that 40K range. Something like just a Charger, or even like a Stingray Corvette, or like a 2SS Camaro. That'd be like a standard sports car. You bump up the spectrum a little bit with these advanced, or maybe that tier 2 sports car with the GT500, ZL1, and Challenger. And this is probably like a standard sports car, actually, maybe a little bit more. But you get to that next tier of that sports car family, I guess is the best way to put it, and you really can't get any better than this. But everything that we've gotten over the last year or so is not just a standard or average, above average sports car. We're talking supercar level stuff. I mean, GT4RS, R8s, even like the Bentley Continental GT Speed and the Vantage. Those are all super borderline hypercars. Not hyper, you know what I mean. They're just supercars. Speaking of hypercars, I'll get more in depth later. But that McLaren, reason why we sold it, we didn't realize how, I guess, the hybrid system fully worked in that. It had 4 modes, I think. It had electric, comfort, sport, and track. And if you're in electric, obviously it's just pure electric. You're gonna go like 20 miles on just electric, super slow, not very hypercar or supercar like. If you can put it in sport, it'll die as soon as you come to a stoplight, and then you get up to about 25-30 miles an hour. I'll explain this further once I show you the video of the new one that's coming in, probably like, I'd guess 2 weeks. Once you get to 25 miles per hour in sport mode or even comfort, then the electric motor, I guess, changes over to the internal combustion motor. Then pretty soon you're doing 30 miles an hour and the RPMs are at 4,000, and that thing just pops on. If you keep it in track, it's the motor's on at all times. It's just kind of a weird car, right? It was a lot of money. They didn't do us any favors on the price. We paid sticker, got totally raped on the trade value, but they discounted the new car pretty damn heavy. I could honestly probably buy this almost for what they discounted that car for. So stay tuned for that video. But back to this. Long story short, your boy needs some money. The only way to do that is to sell some cars. The best way to do that, instead of just selling them outright, because you can't just do it overnight like that. Not that I need money tomorrow, but I got payments due, I got tabs due, I got insurance due. There's a whole bunch of stuff happening at once, and it's best just to get it all done with another car deal. I could trade all 4 or 5 of these in on something super cheap, like a Honda Civic, and just be done with it. But I'm not going to get crap for trade value. That's why I'm going to this higher value Bentley Continental GT, even though it's an Edition 8. It's still an expensive vehicle. Those type of dealerships tend to, I'm going to get a heavy discount on this too. It's like 13-14% off sticker, something like that. And the dealerships that have the higher level vehicles tend to give you a little bit more money in trade value, because they can manipulate. They can either take it off the top of the purchase price, or maybe their clientele, or they have a better buyer or a larger portfolio for who could purchase your trade vehicle. Either way, Maury's gave me the best bids on all of these cars, and well, not all of them, most of them. And like Porsche, I buy from them all the time. They gave me kind of crappy bids on most of them. The only one they did a good bid on was actually the C5. So I emailed my sales rep at Maury and said, hey, I'm having a little bit of seller's remorse. I might keep the dark horse. Give me a little bit more for the C5, and let's wrap this up. So here's where you guys come in. Am I overthinking this? Is this really dumb? I'm not going to be able to replace these cars, but they're just cars, right? And getting rid of them sort of gets rid of, or like maybe evolves me into the next level or tier of vehicle ownership. Get rid of the average or above average sports cars and stick to maybe the little bit above average or standard like supercar, like the 911 Turbo. It's it's night and day difference, you know, the Turbo S and the R8 and the 4S compared to any one of these cars. This is just raw, pure power, but even like the interior, you know, it's cheap on some of these American cars. You're paying for the motor and the name and stuff. I guess when I say name, I mean Shelby on this one, but I mean, look at, I mean, they are cheap. Just plastic. I had to replace this button. I found an anodized one because that was all chipped. So I mean, you know, they're just like cheap materials. Not that that's a bad thing. I mean, it's a $100,000 car compared to like a $300,000 car, but you know what I'm saying? It's just a little bit cheaper vehicle. Same thing with this, you know. This is just plastic. Challenger, a little bit nicer. You know, this is soft touch here, but I mean, just kind of like this is plastic down here. Nothing wrong with that. This at least has power seats. That one has manual, and this I think has power. Yeah, only 145 miles on this thing. I think 230 on that, and I think 90 something on this. So you're just kind of cheap. Backup camera is the worst on this one. It's actually really nice on this one. It's pretty crappy on that. This one's really nice too. Dark Horse, I'm really considering keeping this only because it's bang for your buck. This is probably the best car you can get, in my opinion. Yeah, you got cheap plastic. I mean, I don't know, it's just a nice car. More cheap plastic, but it's 50 grand. Can't really complain for that. This is just, you know, a 25-year-old car. Nothing special about it, just a little standard or base, I think they called it. Corvette C5. Just low miles. It's kind of cheap. Come over here, check out the Bentley. Comparing apples to oranges here. All four of those cars new. No, never mind. Three of those cars, the three I'm selling when they were new, cost as much as this Bentley I'm considering. I mean, look at this quality. Nice stitching, everything's very soft. Even this is like a nice thick material. Metal controls, crazy good audio. I don't know, just it's a totally different level. 110 miles on this guy. It'd be a very similar interior. I don't know what I'm asking you guys. I'm just sharing with you what's going on right now. The Hummer EV, I'm going to secure that deal too. I know I said I canceled that car. Never did, or they never did. And thankfully, because I am going to trade the Hummer in, I'm actually going to pre-trade it. So I'll be driving the Renegade from now until, well, probably next week until like May when that comes in. So stay tuned for that video as well. That's about 5 months out. We got the Artura replacement coming in. We got the Hummer EV replacement coming in. And we got a potential trade-in for these five. It's a Bentley Continental GT. Super badass. It's 2024, so it is the 25s are out now, but they're like 60 grand more than the 24. So I don't know. I'm gonna email my rep and just see what they think about me keeping the Dark Horse and a little bit more for that C5. Because getting rid of the Dark Horse, I'm getting the trade value I'm getting on these cars is about what I owe. So I mean, removing that, it's not gonna take anything off the top, but it's just gonna be one more car payment for me to still have. I know that was a long video. That was a lot of rambling. I'm not trying to get any pity or anything like that. I just want you guys to be aware of what's going on, trying to sell some cars, get your opinion on if I should do it. Maybe I feel like I'm a little bit too young for a Bentley Continental GT, but maybe not. They're still pretty badass cars. They're just more of an older, probably because older people are the ones who can afford them. They're just a little bit more of an older, classier car. I guess it depends on the build. You know, the ones with all the chrome, those are probably more classic is what I'm talking about. This one's pretty damn sporty. It's silver on black. It's pretty sweet. All right, well, I'm going to get no sleep tonight as I think about this. I think I do need to come up with a decision by tomorrow. I'll try to post this video up before I make the decision. So I'll end this here. As always, I do appreciate watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.